Hello darlings! I am back again for another video. I'm in a new place because the light is just fantastic in front of my bedroom window. So no books in the background today. You know, just we're gonna deal with it. Also, we're gonna deal with me looking at myself instead of viewfinder because we all know that nothing good happens when the camera's turned the other way. I can't handle it. It's always at a bad angle. It's terrible. So, we're gonna deal with this. Today, as you can see from the title of this video, it is a double seasonal wrap-up. I'm in a Christmas sweater, and I am going to tell you what I've read since the last time I told you what I read. It is since June 24th was the last time. There also was a booktubeathon type thing, so I didn't add those books from the booktubeathon. But these are all the books I've read since June. There are kitties. Hey kitty, look at Dad's Apollo. They're gonna be in this video today. Alright, so I'm gonna start with the books that I don't physically have. First, since June, I have read 2 audiobooks. First was the Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. I love Mindy Kaling. I think this woman is hilarious. I just enjoy everything about her. I listened to her first book and I'm very happy with it. It was hilarious and I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5 stars. Second, I also listened to Where She Went by Gayle Forman, which is the second in the If I Stayed duology companion novel. It's like afterwards and from Adam's point of view, which I didn't know at first. I didn't know it was from Adam's point of view, and then the narrator was a man. I was like, why is there a man narrating this if it's from a girl's point of view? But then I got it, and I enjoyed it. It was okay. It wasn't like phenomenal. Give it 3.5 stars. This next book is something that I talked about in my unhaul. It is Lynn by Julie Murphy. I told you in my unhaul that I had a lot of problems with this book, and I thought that the main character was really whiny, and it was just not as an empowering book as I thought it was going to be. So I was upset with that, and I just got rid of it. Now for the actual books. I have them in order of when I read them, so we're just gonna get going. First book I have here is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I did tab like one part. Like I said, I read this in the beginning of June, and I don't really remember too much about it. I do remember that the main character, I'm just gonna, cover them up. I remember that the main character thought like he was abducted by aliens, and like the aliens put him in a human museum, which was really interesting, and the way this was written was really interesting. And I think I might have to go back and read it again because I think I rushed through it too much, and I would really like to take my time. Why? The next book I read this summer was Easy by Tamara Rubber, and I think I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be because of all the hype around it. However, it still was very, very good. Next book I have here is Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Brosh. Yeah, Brosh. This is like a book of short stories and comics, and if you haven't read this and you really need a good laugh, read it because holy shit is this hilarious. And it also has some really serious parts in there, like dealing with depression, and I liked that too. That was really informative and just great little chunks of seriousness around the hilariousness, because if it was all just hilarious I might have actually died because I was laughing so hard I could not breathe. It is so funny. The next book I read, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but that is The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. This is the 4th book in the Heroes of Olympus series. This took me a good amount of time to get through. I'm not going to lie to you. I still haven't read the last one because Percy's not in it, and that really pisses me off. So I don't even know if I'm ever going to get to it. I don't remember much about what happened in this book. I don't even remember what I gave it. I just know that I read it. The next book I have here is the most disappointing book I have ever read. I am so upset by this, and it is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. If you guys know, To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books. It's a sentimental book to me. I really love it, and I thought this was going to be amazing, and it was awful. I hated it so much, and I can't even really put my finger on why I hated it. It was boring. It was uninteresting. It wasn't necessary, and I'm just, it sucked so hard, and I'm so mad about it. However, after I read that terrible book, I read another really good book, one of my top favorites of this year. That is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. So this is a book about twins, and they're each narrating parts of it, but at different ages. So one of the twins narrates when they're like 12, and the other twin narrates when they're like 16, and it's just like you see the difference between their relationship and their lives, and it's just so well done. It's amazing, and if you haven't read this, read it. The cover's beautiful. It'll look great on your shelf. Look at that. Look at it. It's amazing, and I love it, and read it, please. I read Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. This was the only Rainbow Rowell book at the time that I hadn't read yet, so of course I had to get it. Alright, I think I gave it 3.5, maybe 4 stars. It isn't my favorite of her works. Next, I read Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in the Lux series. I had the bind-up of the first 2 books. I have only read the first one, and I didn't get rid of this book, obviously, in my unhaul because I did like the first one. I'm just still on the fence if I want to keep it and read the second one. This next book, guys, I have raved about this already in my top favorites video the other day, and I'm going to rave about it again because I can't get enough. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is her newest book. It is the Inception fan fiction type thing from Fangirl, and it's amazing. And I heard people say it's not original because if Harry Potter didn't exist, this couldn't exist. Yeah, it could. Rainbow Rowell totally could have thought of this idea on her own. It's just J.K. Rowling came up with it first. But the world of Mages is the same yet very, very different from the world of Wizards, I think at least. And it's just the characters. It doesn't even matter about the world. They could be fucking vampires. They could be girls. They could be just squirrels. I don't even fucking care. If they were squirrels and they still had their mind and their words, it would be an amazing book about squirrels. Because Rainbow Rowell has amazing writing and amazing character development, and I just, love it so much. Read it. This is probably the best book I've read this year. I'm not gonna lie. This is on my top 10 list. It will probably be number 1. Spoiler alert. And I will rave about it again in that video in a couple weeks. The next book I read, I got because of all the hype surrounding it, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I don't even know who the authors are. Ooh, look at the shiny. But this book is told through classified files and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's on a spaceship, and I was on the edge of my seat for a good chunk of it. I gave this 4 stars, I think. It was pretty good, and the hype was worth it, I'd say. The next book I read was This Is a Book by Dimitri Martin. This is a book of short stories and drawings, and it's a humor book. And I've been really into humor books lately. I've been very stressed with school and studying and all that kind of stuff in my future, which is just haunting me, looming down, and I don't like it. So I've been reading a lot of humor books because they are light and fluffy and easy to read and funny, obviously. So I really enjoyed this. I read it in 2 sittings because a lot of them are just very short stories. Sometimes there's just graphs. It's great. I recommend this. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This next book I also read because I was sick of hearing the hype and I needed to see for myself. And it was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and let me tell you, I liked this so much more than I thought I was going to. It's a first book, so it's a lot of world building, a lot of character introduction and development. I have the second one. I'm gonna read it soon. I really liked this. I like Selena a lot. I love Kale a lot. I can't even talk about this because I'm so excited to read the second one and see what's going on. And please don't spoil me. I don't want to know what happens. I'm really excited about this series. The second to last book that I read, I actually just finished this recently. The last book is a different story. This is Helga's Diary, a young girl's account of life in a concentration camp. Weiss. I like these memoirs from the Holocaust. It's morbid, it is, but I really like them. I guess it's more like a history thing, but I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This last book I'm going to talk about is a reread. I finished it in the middle of some of those books, and it is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the illustrated edition. I don't know why I got so weird with that. But I actually have been I read this out loud to my boyfriend. At night, we read like a chapter a night. It took us like a couple of weeks because sometimes he fell asleep before the chapter was over. He's never read Harry Potter. He doesn't like reading, which I don't understand at all, but whatever. Some people just don't. But he enjoys me reading it to him, I guess. So we read this whole book, and I think he liked it, and I liked it. Currently, we are on the second to last chapter of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That's right there. That's where we are. Alright, so those are all the books I have read in the last 6 months. If you liked this video, if you liked any of the books that I read, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more of my face and my cats. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!